All right. Well, thank you all. And this is actually our kickoff event for spring semester in the Center for Learning. So thank you all for joining us. I'm excited about this one. Just for your information, our ITRC folks are going to be doing a whole series of workshops for faculty on lots of Canvas related things and other really valuable information. So make sure you check out our webpage at the Center for Learning for upcoming events and add them to your calendar if you would like to be involved in any of those. But it is my distinct pleasure to introduce two of our ITRC folks. So this is Rick Fowler and Cathy Leavitt. Rick Fowler is an instructional designer who assists faculty with Canvas, online proctoring, and other educational technology offered by the ITRC. Rick has over 20 years of experience providing customer service and technological support for faculty on the ISU campus. He will graduate this spring, congratulations in advance, with his master's in instructional design and technology from ISU. Cathy Leavitt is an experienced K-12 teacher who joined the ISU ITRC in 2023 as an instructional designer. She's currently working on her PhD in instructional design and technology and plans to graduate this May. Congratulations in advance to you too, Cathy. And her passions include designing courses and content with faculty to improve the student experience. So without further ado, I'll turn things over to Rick and Cathy.
Okay, sweet. We can just sit here.
Can you see us okay? I saw Jesse's note about camera not working for a second.
All right. So today we are going to kick off the CIDI Labs products that we have for faculty that can help you improve your course. Wrong thing. Okay, so faculty at ISU have access to 3 CIDI Lab tools, and there are going to be workshops on all of them. So the first one that Rick and I are going to talk about today is Design Plus. Design Plus is a design tool that helps you create visually appealing course materials in a quick, easy, organized way. And the beauty of this is there is no coding required. Tidy Up?
Yeah, so Tidy Up is a helpful tool, especially if you brought things over from Moodle. What it does is it helps faculty remove course clutter. So it goes through your course and it's a cleanup tool that removes unused, outdated course files and content. And it's nice because it will show you everything in your course that's not being used. It will show you all the files that aren't being used. And you can just go through and select those and it takes them out of your course.
So then the last tool that you'll have access to, and there's a workshop for later this semester, is You Do It. And this helps with accessibility within your course. So it goes through your course and identifies all of the things that need to be updated to meet accessibility standards, and then it walks you through an assistant or, I can't get the right word. It's like almost like a wizard. A wizard.
Yeah,
that's the right word. Thank you, Lori. It's a wizard that helps you fix all of these accessibility issues. So today, I don't know why the pictures are showing. There it is. Today we are talking about Design Plus and how you can use Design Plus to elevate your courses. So it's a course design tool that helps you simplify the course design process to create engaging, visually appealing, and effective courses.
And so we've created, well,
we modified.
Yes. Thankfully, somebody from the University of Illinois was nice enough to develop a course and has allowed other universities to change it and modify it for our own purposes. So we've created a Drab to Fab course that we were going to introduce later. What the nice thing about this course is it's flexible. It allows you to work at your own pace. It's self-guided, and it's going to walk you through a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today, how to add those enhancements to your course materials.
So this self-paced course, for each component or asset that you can add to your course, it will give you step-by-step directions, opportunities to practice, and helpful hints and tips that come directly from the CIDI Lab resources.
And one of the biggest strengths of this Drab to Fab course is it allows personalization. So you can adapt these into your own courses, and you can customize your course materials that are unique to you and your course. Also, you could change things and develop like a template for your whole department if your department wants to do that. And then you can share these assets across courses within campus. So you could add them to your other courses, you could add them, share it with other faculty in your department, anything that you want to use.
So we're going to go through some examples of how Design Plus has been used in some courses. So Rick has the first one.
So one of the biggest complaints that you hear from students is the scroll of death. And so we're going to show you, like, this is just the Wikipedia page for ISU that's on Wikipedia. And when you're going through, like when students start to see, and if they scroll more than 3 or 4 times, they get really tired and they're like, I am not going to read all of that. So it's not really that much information, but what you can do is clean up this entire thing and change it to look like this. So you can create accordions. So you'd have a history section. So here they can read through, see, oh, that's the history of it. What are the points of interest? And they'll go along. Academics. So you can do this to condense a lot of information into something that's manageable and readable. And then students aren't continually scrolling. So it's not, there have been studies about how that can create anxiety for your students, and adding things like accordions and these other topics that we'll go through in a bit, make things better for your students. It creates less anxiety for them as they go through the course. And here's another way that you can do it. So the other one, the last page uses accordions. You can set up tabs to do the same thing. So you could have your general tab, you have your history, it's over here in a different thing. And you can add images. And one of the nice things about Design Plus is you can create you can just select how the image is going to be displayed. You can set frames, all kinds of different frames on there. And you can do it so that these tabs are on the top. You can set the tabs to be down the side, kind of whatever you want to do. You can change the colors. So if you want this to not be gray when you mouse over it, if you wanted it to be orange, you could select that and change those. So there's a lot of different options. One of the nice new things is that they recently added flashcards. So I quickly threw this together this morning. If we're teaching a course about coffee, we could create flashcards for your students to study with. So they would go in and they would see, oh, okay, here's the definition, or here's the topic. They flip it over. Oh, there's the definition of the process of using water. And you can create multiple cards so they can go through and they can see all of these different options. And you can shuffle the cards, so the students could shuffle it if you have a lot of different terms. They could go through and do different things there. So it adds a lot of that interactive aspect we used to have with H5P and Moodle. They're adding more tools all the time, so we're excited to have this. Here's a quick thing I wanted to show. Georgia in anthropology has been working on converting her books in Moodle, because they don't convert, they just come over as separate pages. So we've been helping her. And one of the things you can do, like if you go to this page, sorry, I'm going to go to this third page, you can embed videos in here inside of tabs. You can add multiple tabs. But under here, she has a lot of different information. So you could set different accordions. You can have all of these different sublayers so that huge long pages that would take forever to scroll through are easier to go through.
So we have some other examples. I just took some snapshots. So this is from a course that I teach. This is my homepage. So you can create customized homepages where you can have buttons at the bottom that go to important sections within your course. Like mine goes to the course overview, the modules, the class discussions, and help. So you can set those up however you want. And this just creates that kind of look when you get into the course that some of us were used to in Moodle. That's just a picture with the course details and information. This one was borrowed from a faculty member in OLP. This is what their discussion looks like. When the students open the discussion, these are the directions they get. And so I had to cut some of it off, but this was the most interesting piece. And so you can add graphics and design into the discussion to give students better and more clear directions for postings. And then we've been working with the physician's assistant program to build case studies or diagnostic studies where they go through a list, and try to diagnose. So we've organized the resources and materials in a logical sequence, and they've embedded images and all these different things so that their students can go through and make an assessment of a patient. So how to get access to Draft to Fab. So you might want to, if you have a sandbox and it has stuff in it, you might want to request a new sandbox. You can go to the ITRC page and request a new sandbox. And we've added this Draft to Fab course in the Canvas Commons, so you can download it and interact with it. You don't need to do any special signups for it. And so you should be able to navigate to, the first step is to go to the open Canvas, go to the Commons, search for Idaho State University. I did have to look for what was updated and new. And then it should have that feature tag, and it should have Benny on it, and it should be called Faculty from Draft to Fab. And you should be able to download that into any sandbox course and work at your own pace. When you are in your individual courses, you're going to access Design Labs in the edit. When you're editing something, in that top right-hand corner, you'll see that little rocket, and you'll click on that, and it should open a sidebar with Design Lab. So we have a course that we want to showcase, and I've talked to the faculty members so they know that this is going to be shown. So this is a library course. And so Rick is just going to click through some, and we'll talk about some of the things that this faculty member has been doing. So they've really been using Design Lab to set this whole thing up. And you'll notice as we go through the pages that there's a consistent theme. So this is their syllabus. So they've made all the different parts of their syllabus an accordion. So if Rick clicks on one, you can see this is the academic integrity and course expectations for their course, and every section has something in it.
When you
and
create those accordions, does it automatically do like heading styles that would be in order for accessibility?
Sometimes the headings will get off, and let me show this real quick.
But then you could run the check and it would tell you.
Yes, but you can choose heading styles in Design Lab as well.
And this is what it looks like when you select that rocket ship. And actually, we can see here there are some heading issues.
Yeah, you can check it within there as well. But
so this one's a 3, but it should be a 2. So we'll just move that over. That was a 3. It needed to be H3. It was 4. So you can change this. So anytime you see this little exclamation point, that lets you know that there is an accessibility issue. So if you have a student who is using, especially like a screen reader, they might have issues if there are accessibility issues. And there is that new law that goes into effect in April, pretty soon. So we need to make sure all of our courses are accessible. So this tool has a built-in accessibility tool, and you can go through and check all of these things, fix those easily in there.
so if you go back and save that, I think it'll be nice. So go to the next page, and we'll just kind of go through some of the things. So that's so you can see that like they have tabs down the side, and this is, they've taken what we put in, like getting started with ISU, and they added it to some of their own course materials. So there's links, and they've added all of these kind of loops with the text in them, and the heading at the top, that's all with Design Plus. Yeah. So in her discussions, we've been really working on building out detailed directions. And so this is what she's used Design Lab. She's put in like little icons. Those are all in Design Lab as well. The little call out cards where it says discussion etiquette. All of those are assets that you can pull in through Design Lab.
You don't have to go this crazy if you do not want to.
So this is just like one of the best ones, best uses of design labs that we've seen so far.
And if at any point, if you're thinking, I'm not a graphic designer, I don't want to try and find images, you can contact us in the ITRC, and you could work with either an instructional designer, or we could have our students work with you to create images, or find images that are open resource so that you can use them without worrying about violating copyright and that kind of information. So,
And then the ISU Smug Hub
yeah.
has lots of assets. That's where I've gotten most of my pictures.
And you can find that on the ISU marketing website.
So let's keep going. Let's go back to modules. And let's go to three, that one, yeah. So we've been working, so this is a module that this faculty member pulled in from another institution into their course about APA 7 citation, and then reworked this whole thing so it would fit for her class. And so she built the top part using CIDI Labs and embedding pictures, but then has really built out this bottom part with all the APA 7 citation instructions that the students will need for this course. So there's lots of amazing things in here that students, everything students would need to know how to cite APA 7. So lots of amazing stuff that this person is doing. I think, oh yeah.
Show this. Yeah.
No, well, they also, not only did they put this page in their course, but they also added it to the syllabus tab within their course. So they just copied this over into here so that students had access to it in more than one spot. So they could find all the information they needed. And so you'll notice, can you go back to modules? Scroll down. So whatever they've labeled like 2.0 or 3.0, if you open that page, that's what the title is. They've really gone to the extent of making sure that everything is very consistent and organized. And everything looks from page to page to page. It's like they've used a template and they've just changed out the picture in the text so that everything's very consistent. And this is another one we worked on just this morning, actually. They had all the information just on the page in 2 columns, and it was very overwhelming. So then we just broke it up into some accordions so that students would get just chunks at a time instead of just open page and being just overwhelmed with information. So yeah, there's just so much to do in CIDI Labs. So do you have anything else you want to add? I mean, we haven't talked very long, but
Right. One thing to note is that President Wagner was involved with the development of CIDI Labs, who created Design Plus. So he's really excited to have faculty use this. And he's really excited about what it offers inside of Canvas, where it allows a lot of tools that are missing from Moodle to make your site look better and organize things better, make things, like we were saying, chunk things in a manageable way so that students...
and scaffold the learning for your students.
Yeah. So are there any questions?
If we have time, could you show how to do an accordion?
Yeah, we can definitely show you how to do some stuff. That's why we left some time so we can show you how to do it.
So we can start, let's see. I'm just going to go to this page and copy some of the information. Go back to the modules and create a new page.
So this will work with pages, quizzes, discussions, assignments.
Any place that you have a text editing.
Yeah, anywhere you have a text editing box and that you can go in and edit what the students will see.
So once you go into the edit page, Again, you'll want to bring up this accordion, bring up the Design Plus option. And by default, it goes to the Add New Elements page. And there's different layouts, so you can change the display options here. I kind of like this more concise page view. It's easier for me. So in the navigation options.
It's in tabs. Oh, there's accordions or in page layout, go down one.
So come in here and then it'll switch over to this current element page. And this is how you can change what you have in the current element. So over here, you can add more content here. So right now, by default, it only adds 2 accordions.
And you'll see in the rich text editor, it adds the panel 1 and panel 2. So it creates the code for you and drops it into the editing box. And so then you just go through and edit and add information. And so if he scrolls, after he finishes typing, if he scrolls back up in that text box, in the rich text editor, if you hit enter back where it says notable items, it'll update. There we go. So whatever you type over there comes across into the text editor. And so if you open the styles, then there's different styles of accordions or tabs. So the top row is accordions, then there's, what's that one? Like tabs across the top, and then pill tabs, vertical to pill tabs. And then you can choose color, the heading, there's all different things you can decide here.
And by default, we've set it to ISU branding colors. So these meet marketing, Marcom's standards, and also meets accommodation standards. So those colors are accessible for students. You can change the text. You can do the display, how it's aligned. You can add padding if you want. By default, I believe it's 3, but you can change these to be bigger.
What's padding?
That's how much space the accordion takes up horizontal. So you can see like right here, it's pretty big. If I change it to 3, it goes to that smaller size. And then you can also come down here, and in the preview, it's going to show you what those are going to look like. So I set the hover to be black, and so it's going to change. And then if it's active, it changes to that bright orange color. There's other options under here. You can add nested panel groups and unwrapped panels. I haven't messed with those a whole lot. Sometimes when you're working with the nested panels within panels, it can get a little confusing over here. You just have to make sure you're working in the correct one. I've done that before where I start pasting things in here and then realize, well, that was the wrong section. And then it's not so easy to get out sometimes. And I won't lie, sometimes there are times where you start working in it only to go back and realize, oh, I have to delete those last 3 tabs I made because I messed it all up. But thankfully, it is easy once you get in there. And the more you play around with it, the better. The more you'll understand how things work, and it won't be quite as
So you
intimidating.
want to paste the content in here. So he copied the content from the other page, so he's just going to paste it in there.
I'll just do it here too, just for sake. And then you can see up here, I've got an accessibility issue. Let me know about that. And again, the headings are off. This one went to a 3 by default. So I'm just going to move that over. And that's fixed. And now when I go back to the accessibility page, it's going to work. External assets, this is going to show you a lot of these things. It just will give you issues like this. I should have added that file into my files section and then added it that way rather than copy and paste. This might break later. So we recommend you upload it over here into the files section and then link that through Design Plus. You can come over here and let's see.
It's image. Can you do it right there with the image?
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
So here you can add an image. I'm going to select this. It's going to bring up here. And then go to my course files. And I have added this image into there. So now it's going to bring this up. And now once I've added that, you can see like you can set alt text. So we could change this for people with that are using screen readers. And if it's something that you don't, like especially if you're using it in a quiz and you don't want the student to have necessarily the description of that image, if it's going to give away the answer, you can set that as a decorative image, or if it's something like a picture of you or something like that, you don't necessarily have to have alt text, but we recommend it because it makes things much easier for the students. And then style, here's where you can change things. So you can change the size of this. You're like, oh, that's a little big. Let's change that to 300 wide. And then that's automatically going to do 300 by 200. I can change how it displays. Then you can do a pop-up and then
Do a border, which would end up being more like a frame around the picture.
And then you can just come down here and I'm going to select save, just so you can see what it looks like. So now we just have these two accordions, but when students go in, this is what they're going to see. Then if they select the next one, it's going to open up that second one. So yeah.
I love it, thank you. One quick reminder, from here, how do you have access to Design Plus?
So you're gonna go to edit. And then it's behind the little record sign, but you can see that it's like a little orange rocket. Oh. Orange square with a black rocket, if I can talk, and then it opens up that, and then you just click on it and it opens up that.
And then can you accordion individual units? Because within one unit, like week 1 or week 2, there's like some classes.
Yeah, you can do multiple, yeah.
You can accordion a unit.
Yep. You can do multiple things on a page, and then you can layer them. You can put one inside of another.
You can't make it stay open, like in
There-
Moodle, you could have
There isn't
everything on the front page.
Yeah, but there are different accordion styles. I was playing with it.
Open things.
Yeah, that once you open it, it stays open, or you can choose another one that once you open it, it closes the previous, or yeah. So you just have to kind of play with the different styles at the bottom to know what you want.
And you would just come in and select, if you wanted to add accordions within accordions, you would just come in, make sure it's inside of that main accordion. Come over here, select your accordion option. Or let's do tabs, just because. So here it's adding tabs. And up here is where you can change that name. If you decide later, you're like, oh, I didn't want that up top, you just drag and drop it.
Yeah, you
Change the layout.
Yeah, slide them around. There's also the heading in that panel style. There's different heading, so you can choose different heading sizes, or so you can choose those and fix those before the accessibility checker finds them. There's just so many options you can do.
So are you saying that if we were on the module page, could we make this stay open?
Yes, if you choose this, that one.
I've added so many.
Yeah. So I was playing with one today.
Do you have to publish it first?
Oh, it's right here. So if you use the expanders, you can expand all, so they would all be open. And those will stay open if students select.
But then we have to open the page first.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because if he goes back to his module view, it's still just that very linear one line. But it's a great way to combine a whole bunch of information into one page, so you don't have in this module view, so you don't have so many lines per module. Oh, Rand had a question.
Oh. Yes, this is being recorded and it will be on the CIE website later. Now, what kind of item would allow students to search for keywords within a group of pages? That's a great question.
I don't know that.
There's the search discourse, but it doesn't work very well.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. We'll have to do some research in that for you, Rhonda.
Yeah, we haven't had anybody ask that before, and I haven't researched them.
Any other questions?
But if I want to link to a file that's in my file drawer, like in one of the pages?
Great question.
Do I grab the URL?
So the
There's a
easiest
couple of
way,
ways to do it.
yeah. So let's say I just wanted to link this history. Sorry. So I would select this, and then I could add, you can either do insert, and you can link to a course link. And it'll bring this up, so you could link to a different page, or assignments, quizzes, announcements. You can change this also to files. So if there was a course file you had, like a specific PDF or something like that, just do this image. So it's going to link. That was not supposed to happen. I think it's because it was an image instead of a page or something. So yeah, now you can see that that is linked to a file inside of your course.
You can also do the same thing within Design Lab. You can add, there's a link right here. You can add a link and you could put in, yeah,
Again, you could just filter through and
find the right link that you wanted to add. So there's a couple of ways to do it.
And will it come over your semester? Does anything break?
as far as we know, it does not. But I'm sure people have noticed Canvas has been a little glitchy lately. They made some updates over Christmas break, and there's been a few bugs that we found already this semester. So if you are running into issues, definitely call us and let us know if we can deal with those issues.
And then if it's something we can't help you with, we'll have you put in a support ticket with Kim. You get an answer.
Is there a way you can add like links to each of your modules so that like if it's module 8, they don't have to scroll?
Yes, absolutely.
Like on my homepage maybe?
Yeah. Do you have one on page?
I don't think I have one here. No, I don't. Let's see.
I'll just create a new one and then you can make it on
But if
homepage.
you could go, if you went to my fall class, that's the one you could show that how my homepage is. Yeah. So this is the course I teach in the fall. So if he scrolls down and clicks on modules, that I linked that so it takes them right to the modules of my course.
Like can you do, will it add a list like module?
So yes, you can add a content list. So,
Messing with
you can do it. That's right. So if you went in here and you could do a link list. So if I went down here, I'm just going to do it down below so I can delete it later. I went down here and I added a link list, or you could do it in a grid.
And then I think there's also just a tool called auto list.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta go back. Thank you.
It's like at the bottom until you add it once. Module list under interactive. Go down a little bit.
Module list, yep. So then, yes, it creates a list of a link to all the modules. So if I saved this and it pulled all the titles that I had in my modules. So if I save this, I'm having a stroke today. So if I save this and I went back, it gives a list of all the modules in my course. If I click on, let's say, like module 2, it brings me to that right there.
It's one of my favorite things. I brought it up.
I'm like, there's just so much. I'm like, I don't know what people want to know, and we could talk for days.
If you don't have a homepage, how do you add a homepage?
Oh, that's a great question.
You want to walk through that?
Yeah, so if you don't have a home page and you want development, you'll go to your pages, page. And then because she has on, let me go back to
Yours.
So since I don't have one, I would go in and I would create a page. If you've already got one that you've created, you can edit it here where you can view all of your pages. And so let's say for some random reason I wanted to make that awful death scroll one my home page. I would just come over here, use it as the front page, and then when I come over here back to home, here is where I can set the home page, and you have to choose it as the front page first in the pages list, then go to choose home page. And up here you can do different options. So you could do it to your course activity stream. You can change it to any page you want. Go directly to course modules, that's the default, so that students try not to get lost. You could have it go to your syllabus, but I'm just going to select that, and it's going to do that page that we just did. Save this, and now it's going to automatically, when I go to the home page, it would bring up that page. And one thing I just remembered is in the Fab to Drab site, or sorry, I always say that backward, Drab to Fab site, when you go through, it also shows you how to create a progress bar at the bottom. Because sometimes when students are going through and they select previous or next, it doesn't necessarily take them where they want to go, and it doesn't show them how many pages are in that module.
You can open it, the job to fabric, we have a copy. In your dashboard. So we can show you this progress bar that we have at the bottom. Click on, that's the home page.
Do you add that little button that says let's go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can add buttons to go to the, so that button just takes you to the first page of the first module. And then we have a progress bar down at the bottom that gets them through the assignments in the right order. That next might and previous might not do.
So as you can see, this just walks you through. And that's why it's good to have this loaded in a separate
Sandbox course.
Yeah.
Because this will be a copy that you can go in and add. There's places for you to add your design elements that you've created and practice. And yeah, so that you can go through and do all of this stuff on your own. And practice in a sandbox course that if you created something really great in your sandbox, you could copy over into your regular course as a template.
So that little icon that's usually used on a map to say you're here. So it's doing that for you because you're on that page.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're, like sometimes you want to know where it's hard to keep track of where you are in Canvas. That little, I don't know, what do you call it?
banner title.
But it's that kind of helps students keep track of where they are in this particular module. So this progress bar at the bottom is for the entire module.
One thing with images that we learned with Design Plus is, like before I talked about adding it to the files page, which will count against that. Oh, this is different, so it has a bigger file. You'll only have the 500 megabytes, so it will count against that. So you want to make sure that your images are really compressed, and we can help you with that if there's a big image that you need compressed to a really small size. But you'll want to put them in here. Otherwise, the suggestion from CIDI Labs was if you want it to an external site, to use Pixabay or Pexels. They're two image sharing sites, and those work, but adding it to Google Drive and trying to link to Google Drive doesn't work. It breaks your images.
Any other questions, or people are looking for a specific tool or idea that they want us to work through? We have 15-ish minutes. Any question?
For a couple of things, you may have already touched on some of these, but a couple of comments in chat. Find them again. Shannon Lynch asks, is there a way to have more than single lines on modules? I'm getting feedback that students are not clicking in to see the content.
In modules, no, there's not a way to have anything else but a single one line thing.
I would probably do like a little icon on, because you could paste an icon in.
Yeah, you can post, you can,
Click here, some kind of little icon.
like an emoji, yeah.
Yeah.
You could, yeah. They could paste in the title of the page or the quiz or whatever the content is, a little emoji. Yeah.
Because they're probably used to just seeing a text header that's just text that you don't click on. So yeah, they're saying, how would they know that it's something to click on and open?
Yeah.
So that you could do.
Yeah. Do you have my course open still? So go to the modules. So in the course that I teach, you can see, like, I don't have it. I have a weekly content. I'll scroll down. So there's a weekly content, and then there's just the assignment. Once you open the weekly content, then it all, that's not me. Then we go through, and once they get to the content, then it's all the content they need for the course is in here.
A good practice is if you're working with students who haven't taken a course from you before, especially if it's asynchronous online, you might want to make a little video just showing your students how to navigate, especially if you're doing like accordions within accordions or accordions inside tabs. Sometimes students will miss that information. They don't realize they need to select those options.
Yeah, so even just a short 2 or 3 minute video at the beginning of your course that shows how to navigate your course and how to navigate all the design elements that you've put in to kind of manage all the scrolling, that would be helpful. So students know where to click and where not to click.
One more from Randa. What kind of item would allow students to search for keywords within a group of pages?
Yeah, we don't know. We answered that. We're going to do some research on that. We don't know if there's a sure thing.
The atomic search doesn't do
that.
And then Jesse Maddox asked, what about links from Box? Probably about images. We were not having good luck with Box either for some reason. I think it has to do with the security that ISU requires and the Duo issue. For some reason, when you share images from those two, it's not, it makes a link, but it's kind of like a different link than the standard link to the file. So, yeah.
who you're sharing them.
Yes, because it's not, you're not directly sharing with a person, you're sharing it with the course.
Yeah, because we even tried setting it as a public link and it didn't work right.
Really the whole purpose of incorporating design costs into your course is to reduce the overall, first of all, reduce the overall scroll of the individual items, then reduce the overall scroll of your entire course as well.
Cathy, did you get feedback from your students? Did they like this? Did they find it useful?
They did, but like Rick said, some of them who hadn't experienced Canvas before or how this was all set up missed some of the information in the accordions. So I had to meet with some students who were like, I can't find the information. So we, spent some time having to go through. So next time I teach this course, I'm going to put, I do have an introductory video, but I'm going to specifically talk about that feature, the navigation, so that it's really clear where to find all the information in the course. So yeah, all the content for my whole week is in that one line. So it really, instead of having like 10 different lines of like a different, it's just really reduced. So my course looks really, really short, but there's tons of information in there. And it just kind of helps shrink the overall size, like look of the course, but everything they need is in there.
How much time would you estimate you spent like doing one of those pages with all the accordions?
At the beginning, probably more than I should have. But the more I worked with it, the faster I got.
So did you like copy it and then?
Yes, I copied it because this was content that had already been developed from another faculty member that was in Moodle. So I moved it over to Canvas and put it together like this.
So did you like create a unique one, kind of your format?
Yes.
Just reuse it?
Yeah, and I made kind of a template and then,
Template, yeah.
yeah, so I made a template, and I think it's if you go into my page. The right one. I look at all my pages, it might be there, I might have used it. I think I probably used it, but I just made one and then I just copied it.
Yeah.
And then went in and copied and pasted the content into each week. So that it followed a very similar format.
So did the ITRC help develop like a template?
Absolutely. I think working with a faculty member we want to work with a faculty member to make sure that the template was exactly kind of what you wanted, so that then you could label that page as a template and copy it over. And yeah, that's what I'm doing with a few other faculty members. They sat with me and we kind of developed a template, and then they've been able to copy it and modify it for each individual module or week.
And this is the kind of thing we love helping faculty with. This is the exciting part of our jobs. So just wanted to let you all know, don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions or you want us to help you design this kind of thing. That's what we live for.
Back to the section. Yeah, I know. So we've done some questions, but if you would like to meet with us, you can always email the ITRC at itrc@isu.edu. You can call us. You can come up to the College of Education to our lab in room 356, where you can make some on-demand appointments with any of us so we can help you with this process. If there are no other questions, about done.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us, and thank you, Cathy and Rick, for that. That was great. You really useful information. Thank you so much. Right.